Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. Well, several eyewitness reports talking about the unfortunate incident that happened in Yobe State yesterday. That's about insurgency. Well, while we'll hope we can get that, but in the meantime, the president has been making some decisions and taking some steps to see how he can just bring the insurgency to an end. Remember, he did highlight that much before the elections, even afterwards. Now, he did say some of the key decisions he's taken over time is that first we had the command center relocate to Maiduguri. He said they were going to remain there until Boko Haram is completely subdued. Then there's also this rejection of the proposal for Chad, Niger, and then some other states there to head the central force against Boko Haram, talking about the Lake Chad Basin Commission. And then he also said they were going to strengthen our cross-border patrols, increase our capacity to gather and share intelligence, reinvigorate the Regional Intelligence Fusion Units, that's RIFU, limits the terrorist capacity to access funds and weapons. Along the line, he also pledged $100 million to the multinational Joint Task Force, directed that $21 million be released within 1 week to the Commission to ensure that this gets some bite. Well, that's what we're focusing on this morning, and we're joined by retired Major General Abiodun Role. He joins us now to take a look at some of these matters. Morning, and thank you for coming on today.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
Well, some of these actions that the President is taking, he says, look, security is key for him to end all of this, but you've also seen some of these actions. How far-reaching do you think some of these are, if not all of them?
I think it's good to assume that every step taken in this direction is the right step, because the focus is to bring the crisis to its barest level.
But at the moment, because having relocated the command center to Borno, there were lots of reactions about that. So yes, the command says that is done. We're going to focus on that. But these other actions, in terms of, at the AU, he did say one of the decisions he thought was key was to build on the framework of the Lake Chad Basin Commission. From there on, he thinks he can just kick off things and get results. Do you think this can take us far?
I think the collaborative effort is very, very important and very necessary. There's no crisis that is fought alone, particularly when it becomes a trans-border crisis of this nature. And Nigeria, being the lead within the sub-region where the crisis is taking place, also has to take a lead in every perspective. And that was why the president made that effort, not just visiting them, but also bringing them to Nigeria so they can take firm decision and also deal firmly with the situation. And you saw also the various defense ministers for Chad, Niger, Cameroon, and Nigeria also coming together to deliberate. It shows that the president takes this resolution of this crisis very seriously.
How confident can the people be or get when they get to see a situation whereby if A comes into the picture to proffer solution or render help, he or two is also hit? I'm looking at Chad, for instance. The first time Chad was hit by Boko Haram was February. And again, we saw another one coming to the capital, N'Djamena. What does that tell us in this renewed alliance with other African neighbors in the fight against Boko Haram?
No, it reconfirms the fact that it's just not a one-nation problem. They've hit southern Niger, they've hit northern Cameroon, and probably because Nigeria has taken affirmative action and ensuring that they're being pursued. Now they're looking for other ground to fester. And the realization that the various governments needs to come together, needs to collaborate, needs to take decisive actions, points to the fact that it's no longer a one nation's issue.
How can it, how does it work for us? Are you looking to seeing a more robust sharing of information between countries, the military of this country, because of these countries? I'm looking at what happened yesterday. It was a coordinated and also simultaneous attacks. We saw one in Potiskum in Nigeria and another one in Chad, in N'Djamena. So if we look at it, it will seem as if, they haven't started that, information sharing synergy amongst them.
Is it naturally, when you have coordinated bombings, like we had in Potiskum and the one we have in Chad, it gives a kind of resounding impact on the perception of security. And it tends to give the wrong impression that, oh, these guys are actually, coordinating. Well, it may not be too far from that, okay? But you may find various cells carrying out actions on their own. They may have a central structure that may be guiding them. It's not impossible. But let's take it one after the other. The one we had in Potiskum yesterday brings to bear that individuals and groups are still very vulnerable. And this is going to linger for a while. And what that says is that to close the gap of their vulnerability, the awareness of the citizens must increase. It must increase. If what we had of the detonation of the second bomb was anything to go by, it shows that the citizens are quite aware. They saw the individual, they pursued the individual, and unfortunately, he detonated. Of course, casualties resulted from that.
So the impact would have been much more than what we saw if they hadn't been vigilant.
Exactly, exactly. The first person that detonated actually walked confidently into the facility. And don't underrate these people, for goodness sake. They're very confident.
Why do you think
under any illusion whatsoever.
But we have to keep wondering, first of all, we have to question what exactly our strategy is. That's on the one end. And then secondly, we have to ask, are we really, dealing with the capabilities of Boko Haram? Can we really say that we've undermined them a great deal?
In asymmetric warfare, like we're having with Boko Haram, the battle line is not drawn because of the amorphous nature of their operations. And that's where very high intelligence is very, very essential to reducing the impact of these people. When you say undermine the Boko Haram, it's taking the appropriate action necessary by the state to deal with them. You're not undermining terrorists, you're dealing with terrorists. And you must employ every means possible to deal with the terrorists. And at the same time, take cognizance of the fact that these people are residing within the population. Innocent citizens are affected. And they use innocent citizens and communities as shield. And a lot of the times it's the innocent citizens that bear the brunt of their actions. So in dealing with those people, you also have to employ tact that will reduce innocent casualties. And that's what they profit on.
The reason I ask this is because in the last couple of weeks, let's even say since when the president was inaugurated, we know the amount of attacks we've seen in just the last 2-3 weeks, so, and one has to wonder, there was a time when, yes, Boko Haram, it would seem, had a temerity to try to take territories, and they did indeed see some territories, but we got them back, thankfully. And it would seem that they were greatly incapacitated in terms of what they could do and what they couldn't do. And quite a number of people felt that, the terrorists would retreat or, recede somewhere. But what we've seen is that it would seem that they've also re-strategized and are coming back again. Are we letting our guard down, or is it that we're not quite anticipating this could happen?
No. You see, when Boko Haram came to confront the security agencies, particularly the military, and they came with a conventional approach of battle warfare, they were repelled. And when we went after them, or well, let me say when the Nigerian military went after them, they were able to decimate their ranks. But don't forget that these people have sympathizers within the communities. They have those who empathize with them. And they are in some communities, they are there, and the people are afraid. And because that is the tactics that they profit on, they will ensure that, look, when it is time to carry out their dastardly acts, they know very well that they fester in communities that empathize or sympathize with them, or they're in communities wherein if they give them away, they will come back and decimate the innocent citizens. That's what we have seen.
That raises two questions. The first is, for the sympathizers, why would they sympathize with Boko Haram? I mean, considering that they are the ones who've also borne the brunt of, the terrorist activities of this group of people. That's one. And then on the second hand, why would any group of people be afraid to, let the cat out of the bag? Is it that they don't trust the capability of the military or the security agencies to protect them?
No, it goes beyond that. In the first place, is it these people, from what we see from other parts of the Middle East, for instance, they belong to a larger group and political movements, who have their motives, which ultimately is political in nature, and they come under the guise of faith. And the message they pass are often inspiring to people. And when people who are inspired believe in what these people are preaching or sermonizing, they don't even think twice. These people say they are propagating the Islamic faith. They're only using Islamic faith as a disguise to perpetrate terror. And they will even use the provisions of the Quran that says, fight jihad with your wealth and your life. And some of these people, particularly those who are their sponsor, will also believe in that. And they will say, yes, go ahead.